level. And the Attorney General did say, he said it, and you can read it in today's Trinidad and Tobago Guardian if you missed it. He did say that this is an all-out war against criminal gangs, against criminal enterprises. And his exact quote was, "This country right now is at war. We've declared a state of emergency. We've renewed it, and we've declared an SOE again. That's our declaration of war. Criminal enterprises and those gangs, I agree with my Togo colleague Wayne Sturge, are sometimes located in places like Belmont." So really, in the conversation and fight against crime, I don't think it's useful or helpful to split our country into yellow constituencies and red constituencies. Reminds me of kind of sometimes going down the road of red states and blue states. Let's also check out the back page of Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper today. Some better news for us in this country, some great news for me. Carrie Pierre and Brian Charles bowling the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to victory in its regional 4-day semi-final match against Barbados. Now they're into the final. They will face Guyana. 20 years later, the last time the Trinidad and Tobago team won the regional 4-day competition would have been in 2006. Darren Ganga was captain. I actually remember that game quite well. It was played at Guaracara Park, which isn't too far away from where I lived in South Trinidad. And I listened to the game on radio, so that was disappointing. But I listened to the game on radio. Vibe City 105 FM used to carry every single Carib Regional 4-day match. And a lot of stars played in that game. We played Barbados as well. Darren Ganga was there. Brian Lara, I believe, was also there. And interestingly, we were doing so well against Barbados, and we beat Barbados. But one of the highlights in that game was a young man who made his debut in that game. I believe he made his debut. He was he was 1 or 2 matches in. Shamar Brooks. While wickets were falling around Shamar Brooks, he stood. He only made about 18 runs. But he batted a number of about maybe 50, 70 deliveries. And Brian Lara at the end of the game was very impressed. Although Barbados lost, he was very impressed with Shamar Brooks. And so that's my memory. I was probably still in secondary school when we would have won, the last time we would have won this regional 4-day championship. And so now we have this immensely great opportunity to break that 20-year duck. If you had told me back in 2006 that we would have to wait another 20 years to win another regional 4-day championship, not least be in the final or have a chance at winning it, I wouldn't have believed you, because we had such a great foundation on cricket. Nevertheless, it's taken us 20 years, and let's hope that the regional 4-day Red Force team will be able to Guyana has always been an Achilles heel in Trinidad and Tobago cricket. Guyana has always either spun us out or batted us out of the game. Guyana has always been that very difficult team for us to get over the line with. But I think playing the final in Antigua, in conditions that we've clearly not only gotten accustomed to, but conditions that we're actually doing very well in, that we're actually progressing in, that we're actually thriving in, I think that it offers us a real, genuine opportunity, this Red Force team, this particular Red Force team, to get over the line, to win our first regional 4-day championship in 20 years. And how much will that mean to both the cricketing fraternity and the sporting fraternity in this country? Later on in the program, serious sporting matters are going to be discussed on the Morning Shot with Ian Weeson. Mr. Ephraim Surratt, who did not hold back in the aftermath of the NGB's meeting with the sport company earlier on this week, he's going to be joining Ian Weeson on this program, talking about, he was the one that explicitly said that sport is struggling, if not, it's in a really bad position in this country. Candidly, he spoke about that earlier this week in an interview with Walter Allaby outside the Racket Center. So I expect that he's going to continue to be candid, as he has been throughout his career, throughout his administrative career, particular at the NAAAs. Let's also check in on the briefs, what you can see in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper. The wet season has arrived, according to Sigoni Mohammed, but still it's cause for concern for WASA. They've had to ration water in some parts of the country simply because while some rainfall has come, it hasn't come in the amounts that the reservoirs require, that WASA will require to refill those, to replenish, to recover those reservoirs. So still be very cautious with how you use, be very conservative in how you use water, and let's hope that sometime soon the rain will actually come in great amounts, because we really ought to be refilling those reservoirs. And I sort of tie in to the rainfall, the front page of the Business Guardian newspaper, because it deals with the changing weather patterns that we are dealing with in Trinidad and Tobago. Now we are into the wet season, we are into the hurricane season. But the Business Guardian this morning, it is focusing on very pertinent issues. With the wet season comes traffic, and of course, that old nemesis of flooding. And those are two key issues. And you might be wondering, so why is this on the front page of the Business Guardian? Well, when the rain falls and we have so much traffic and we have downtown Port of Spain flooding, in parts of San Fernando and major parts of Pinal and Debe and Maraval, these are all business-centric communities. And if businesses can't operate, then the businesses suffer. The people who ought to be getting their medication from pharmacies and going to groceries and doing different things, they also suffer. So there's a legitimate economic, financial, there's a cash cost to this flooding and traffic issues that we have in Trinidad and Tobago that we quite haven't managed to solve as yet. And Gisha Kaulesa Alonso writes in detail about it in today's Business Guardian newspaper. Let's take a break here on the Morning Brew. When we come back, we will continue talking about the front page of the Business magazine with Anthony Wilson, our business consultant. Stay with us. Lots to discuss over the next 2 hours here on the Morning Brew. Great show in store for you. You're going to have a great day as well.
You just love a cup of Tetley tea right now. Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Love the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa Macau.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Brand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Brand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Brand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
You and your father have betrayed me, Sophia. You've been lying to me from day one. Your father was in the hangar with a bag as he entered my plane.
Eduardo took that video so he could use it against me and my dad.
Enough! Don't lie to me.
But I'm telling the truth. That's the truth. I love you. Please believe me. I do love you.
You're lying! And I won't let you lie to me anymore.
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. So, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Ghana since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
Could the stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job on this speaking the truth, and they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities. And I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
But The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian is my first choice.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Welcome back to the Morning Brew. We don't have our business consultant, Anthony Wilson, just yet ready. But let's take a look at what we can expect in today's weather forecast with Sigoni Mohammed, and we'll come back and see if he's ready by then.
Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather. Across the islands, we are seeing some fair to partly cloudy skies making its way across the eastern Caribbean island chain, along with a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust. Yeah, the dust is still out there, so have your relievers, your inhalers on hand as you go through the next couple of days, taking us well into the weekend where that dust haze is concerned. But get this, we are in for some quick passing isolated showers that's drifting across the Atlantic, pushing well into the Caribbean island chain, and that's moving within that easterly trade wind flow. It will produce some partly cloudy pockets for us at times with some quick passing showers in the forecast, and we could see our wind flow picking up a little bit, becoming locally strong or even gusty at times. So we're in for more hot, hazy and breezy conditions with some quick passing showers moving across Trinidad and Tobago in a few areas, and that's going to be some light to moderate showery activity. In the event of a heavier downpour, you may have that gusty wind factor coming into play. But temperature-wise, still steamy across the day. We will have those highs approaching the mid-30s in terms of your feels like temperatures really ramping up at times. Now, if you're thinking about heading to the beaches to beat the heat, guess what? We do have moderate conditions out there, but look at what's happening. Our wave heights have been increasing over the last few hours, approaching 1.5 to 2.5 meters in height in open waters and within the nearshore areas. So pay attention to that. Our wind speeds are also increasing 10 to 40 kilometers per hour, and those winds are coming within an east to east southeasterly direction. Now, all of this is happening under a massive super new moon that's going to take place over the weekend ahead, which means we're in for more spring tide activity. So abnormal high and low tides throughout this forecast period, pushing all the way into the weekend. So exercise extra caution if you do decide to venture offshore within the next few hours into days. With that said, hey, that's a wrap on the forecast. That's it from me.
All right, thank you very much, Sigoni. Have a great day. Let's take another break here on the Morning Brew. We'll be right back.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today. Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
The wet season is back, and with it comes sometimes $1 million in losses. It's the front page of the Business Guardian newspaper this Thursday. Really interesting story from Gisha Kaulesa Alonso. I want to read at least the first paragraph to you, but I do encourage you to read the entire thing. As the country enters into what is forecast to be a heavy rainy season, experts warn that commuters and businesses may once again shoulder the consequences of unresolved transport and drainage failures, conditions that routinely give rise to flooding, crippling traffic congestion, and millions of dollars in economic losses. It only gets better from there. There are terrific statistics in this story. I want to welcome back to the program, as he does every Thursday morning, Anthony Wilson. Anthony, welcome back to the program. Great to have you on.
Good morning, Ryan. Welcome back to you on the program.
Thank you. Anthony, there are really sobering, if not startling, figures in this story from Gisha.
Yeah. Yes. Of course, the issue of the preparation of our infrastructure and the management of our infrastructure is really, it has been a perennial one in this country for as long as I've known myself. Everybody knows that when we have rainy season, and we are officially in the rainy season now, we get these tremendous thunderstorms sometimes, and we get flooding, especially in low-lying areas. So that really is the context of the piece by Geisha that led this week's Business Guardian.
I love how Dr. Trevor Townsend brings in the debate, so to speak, maybe for lack of a better word, on who's really in charge of transport in this country, who's really in charge of helping this country ease its transport woes. I think that's a conversation that really can go very deep. Yes, I agree. And I think this is something that he has been arguing for quite a while. I think clearly there is need for a transport authority that would manage the various arms of public transport in the country. One of the suggestions he made is that the PTSC, the Public Transport Services Corporation, go from being a provider of bus services to an organizer of the public transport system and the provider of large bus services. It's an interesting thought, yes. Yeah, certainly one that we have to give thought to as a country, particularly the government needs to give thought to as to who they'd like to manage. I also want to kind of touch on your topic, wishing and waiting for a windfall. Tell us a little bit about it. Yeah, this is a comment on a column that Dr. Bo Tiwari did in The Guardian late last month. And he referred to the fact that his supposition that Trinidad and Tobago will have a windfall in 2028. And quite frankly, while I think it's possible, it's not something that, let me say it's not likely to happen in the way that he sees it. I don't think. And it's not likely to happen in 2028. Right. So what are your suggestions in your column this week? I think the suggestions will have to come next week. I basically laid the table for the issue this week, because I think Dr. Tiwari raised a very important issue, and I think it's important that the population understand the consequences of a windfall and the consequences of not having a windfall. Yeah, so I think it's an important discussion or debate, the issue of the windfall. Beyond just the tough news topics, I quite like this business magazine today because it moves. We have Chris Rampersad saying iShowSpeed was a huge hit in Trinidad and Tobago when he came, but how can we move from just giving him visibility to now actually kind of monetarily making value out of these performances? But also, there's a really good article in there from Ian Narain on the current ICJ matter between Venezuela and Guyana. And then Dr. Driver is also, Dr. Thackeray Driver, the former Energy Chamber Chief Executive, he's also in there talking about the NGC prices and its impact on downstreamers. Yes. Yeah, the columnists this week, I think, were really on point. And you mentioned them. I think you may not have mentioned Karen Rose's piece. Karen is always entertaining and informative, but you're right, the columnists this week are really quite informative on a wide variety of issues. Anthony Wilson, business consultant here at Guardian Media Limited. Appreciate you as always showing up on Thursday morning to walk us through the Business Guardian.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Hope to see you next week.
Sounds good. Have a great day. Anthony Wilson, the business consultant, talking to us here on The Morning Brew. Lots to talk about when it comes to, if you go through the Business Guardian today, there's a lot of talking points in there. I like the iShow Speed one in particular. I was reading on a social media platform that the visibility that iShow Speed got while in Trinidad and Tobago and around the Caribbean region, to be honest, doesn't really translate into. We have to make sure that it sort of translates into those tourists who are watching outside, the millions that he's gotten, that they can come to these islands to help us boost economic activity. Without it, it's really just him gaining everything and our islands gaining very little. So really great stuff in the Business Guardian today. I do implore you and encourage you to read Gisha's piece on the traffic woes as well as the flooding woes. That's the common denominator that affects almost every Trinbagonian. Let's take a break here on The Morning Brew. When we come back, our Tobago correspondent Stephen Nicholas gives us an update on the search for 2-year-old Angelo Tobias as it now goes into day 3.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and start your wellness journey today.
Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Shogwana, Charflair, and Goville. Everyday low prices. Clean and white bleach, 950 ml, $15. Blue Waters Cran Water, 1 liter, 2 for $15. Hibiscus all-purpose flour, 2 kilograms for $15. Box May cornmeal, 340 grams, $15. From fresh produce to pantry essentials and household items, visit Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Shogwana, Charflair, and Goville. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
The search for 2-year-old Angelo Tobias in Goodwood, Tobago enters its 3rd day today. This after the child went missing on Tuesday evening. Since then, authorities have been searching across Goodwood, particularly the beach. A body was spotted. A neighbor thinks that it was that of Angelo Tobias, but there hasn't been any confirmation since. I want to welcome to the program Stephen Nicholas, our Tobago correspondent who has been following this story from the moment it broke. Stephen, welcome to the program. Grateful you can join us.
Hi, good morning, Ryan.
What is the latest you can tell us in the search for little Angelo?
We're heading into day 3 today of the search for Angelo Tobias. It's a tragedy that has really gripped the nation. Yesterday we saw the soldiers joining the search being expanded to the land. That did not take place on day 1 on Tuesday. On day 1 on Tuesday it was strictly in the sea that they were searching. But yesterday we saw a busload of soldiers came in and joined the search in Goodwood.
Does this mean that they've abdicated searching on the seas, or is it now both land and sea?
It is land and sea. I spoke to Assistant Superintendent Bacchus yesterday and asked her specifically that, and she said no, the marine search continues. However, unlike on Tuesday, there was no marine search yesterday as the sea conditions worsened. Alvin Douglas, the director of Tobago Marine Safety and Security Services. They've been hired to conduct the searches in the sea. The divers went in on Tuesday, but conditions were really, really bad. I spoke to one diver yesterday, and he said he could only see up to his hand in front of him, and as they came closer to the shoreline, the conditions really worsened. Yesterday, it was deemed too hazardous to enter the water.
You've been posting regular clips, and the sea conditions really, I think Sigourney might describe it as hazardous. What is the mood like in the community on day one of this search? You showed us some images of tempers flaring, things getting very heated in that community. What's the mood like now?
It's really a tragedy that has gripped the nation with the uncertainty of what really happened and how Angelo went missing that night. I've seen the incident kind of tearing Goodwood apart in some instances. The president of the Goodwood Village Council yesterday, she told me things have settled a bit, but she acknowledged that emotions are really high, tensions are high. I've seen comments, words being exchanged between the boyfriend of Angelo's mother and some villagers. He told me on Tuesday that he feels deeply hurt about some of the things people have been saying, the speculation and so forth. He insisted that they would never leave the child alone at home, but people are saying other things, and it's really, really bad in terms of the relationship between some people. There was even an altercation, as you saw in the video.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. Do we have any further clarification on how this child would have gone missing in the first place?
We don't. The police, Assistant Superintendent Bacchus yesterday told us the police have interviewed the relatives that made a report of the missing child around 7:30 on Monday night. They've interviewed some neighbors as well, and she implored anyone with any information that may help in the investigation to call Crime Stoppers, to call 999, to share what information they have to possibly find the child.
Has THA Chief Secretary Farley Augustine or any of his secretaries spoken out on this matter?
On Tuesday, the Assistant Secretary of Community Development, Councillor Akil Franklin, he came to Goodwood. He said he told the media that he spoke to relatives, and he himself acknowledged that emotions are extremely high. He said he has young children and he understands the pain that people are going through right now, and he just came to empathize and express his sympathy with the situation.
Stefan, these assignments are never easy to cover, even as we are all human beings, but we appreciate the good work that you've been doing to keep us abreast, and we are keeping our fingers crossed that some good news can perhaps come out of this.
Yes, same here. Yesterday afternoon, the police wrapped up the search around 2:30 p.m. and I was heading home as well, and then the police got a report that something was sighted, possibly a body in Mount St. George, which is about 14 kilometers away. So police rushed there, the media rushed there. We had school children gathering, seeing what was all the commotion about, and drones were sent up to search because someone was pointing out something floating a good distance away from the shoreline. But it turned out to be a log. Sorry. Residents, villagers came rushing down, and it really was a bit, it was a sad moment that people are looking for closure, and it's really, really tough right now for everyone.
An emotional roller coaster, it sounds like. It keeps going up and down. Stefan, we appreciate you reporting on this story. Thanks very much for joining us on the Morning Brew.
Not a problem.
Stefan Nicholas, our Tobago correspondent, joining us on the Morning Brew as the search for 2-year-old Angelo Tobias now enters its third day. Heartbreaking story, if ever there was one of many that we've unfortunately had to report on over the last few weeks. Stay with us here on the Morning Brew. When we come back, we will be joined by the TTPS. Owe Russell will come on and speak about matters of importance. The media ambassador of the TTPS talks to us about safety tips for rideshare drivers, among other issues. Next.
Gain real-time insights into what's happening at your facilities. Control who can access your buildings and when. Track all activity on a secure cloud-based platform. Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing today to secure your facilities with the latest AI-driven technology.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley, loving the flavors you get with Tetley.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa McCall.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Looking for a smart way to grow your savings? For just a limited time, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union is offering competitive fixed deposit rates of up to 4%. That's up to 4% guaranteed. When you invest with PCU Fixed Deposit, visit any of our locations in Barataria, Arima, San Fernando, or Tobago to get started today. For more details, visit policecreditunion.com or call us at 6124-PCU. PCU, your future is safe with us.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Police in this country are very, very busy people, and so we always appreciate when Assistant Superintendent Owie Russell joins us on the Morning Brew. He's a Trinidad and Tobago Police Services Media Ambassador. Assistant Superintendent Russell, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioners, Assistant Commissioners, and First and Second Division Officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Happy to be interviewing you. Always happy to interview, but happy to be interviewing you once again. It's been a somewhat revealing 24 hours. The Attorney General in Parliament yesterday would have said that based on information received, the Police Commissioner was asked to enhance security last week, Friday, for a number of MPs, but also for all parliamentarians around Parliament. Can you shed any light on it?
Well, I too heard the revelation of the Attorney General in Parliament yesterday, and of course we must protect our heads of state, our heads of governments and stuff like that. And the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we take no threat lightly, especially in this climate that we see today. So once the information was brought to the Commissioner, I'm certain that the Commissioner would have activated all protocols and necessary measures to ensure the safety of not only the parliamentarians, but those who would have been in the vicinity of that area. Now, we must understand that Trinidad is no stranger to particular things coming out of 1990. So when it comes to threats like that, of course, we will activate all protocols, and we do have a stringent security protocol already in place when Parliament and the Cabinet Senate is sitting, and heighten is just a few more things because we already have Plan A, Plan B, Plan C.
He didn't give much details, neither did the police commissioner, because we did speak to the police commissioner as well on what this gang threat was. Can you give us any enlightenment on what particular threat this was that would have caused this reaction?
I'll be guided by my commissioner. If my commissioner didn't give any details, who am I to give any details? I'll be guided by my commissioner.
Now, one of the things that we have to look at is this is not the first time. The first state of emergency was actually caused by similar threats. In this case, there was one threat, as I understand it. How concerning is this to you, or does it not surprise you, given that you said the climate that we are operating in?
Well, every threat is concerning, regardless if it's a threat made against politician or even you, or other members of the protective services, may it be police officers, prison officers. Every threat is of concern to Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. No life is more special than the other one. So we do investigate all matters of threat, and we take it seriously. As I said, we have to look at the climate of the country. So we always try to put all measures in place.
Do the politicians not help the police service with their rhetoric?
I wouldn't want to comment on what the politicians do or what they don't do by their rhetoric. We have a job. And the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the officers take an oath to protect, without fear, affection, malice, or ill will, and that is what the TTPS will continue to do.
Before the cameras started rolling, you and I were having a conversation, and you were mentioning if it's not one thing, it's the other. And you're right. That's so true. Because if it's not homicides, it's school violence. And if it's not school violence, it's home invasions. It's always something. Do you have an update for us on Alderman Griffith, who would have been assaulted by students of Tranquility Secondary? And also, what measures is the police service taking with regards to this very, very serious incident that took place?
Well, the investigation is ongoing. I like how you asked what measures the TTPS taken, because we have introduced the school-oriented policing program where they put officers in school. We have already started patrols, even way before incidents like these, around schools, because, I mean, this was just school children and adult, but there has been instances where school children would fight with each other, where there's some different classes or different schools altogether, right? And we continue to have patrols when school is over. However, what we have to ask ourselves, what is the society doing? What are the parents doing to instill discipline, morals, values into their children? Because the police, we are not omnipresent. The only omnipresent person is God. So we cannot be everywhere at the same time.
ESP Russell, what would you like, if you had to speak directly to parents this morning, what would you like parents and guardians to know?
I would like parents and guardians to take more care, more control, put aside more time for your children, go into your children's schools, attend the PTAs, speak to the teachers, speak to the principals, so that you can understand your child's behavior, your child's academic performance in school, and see where it needs adjustments or enhancements or lessons or something. You see, what we don't want is that persons remain unconcerned as to their children's behavior in school, whether academic or otherwise, and then they graduate from school someday without 1 level, and then they are looking for jobs. Who is going to hire them when they haven't achieved the basic to be employed? That also contributes, when we talk about social issues contributing to crime. But when the home fail and the education system fail because you would have graduated from primary school, completed secondary school, and you still can't add 1 and 1 to make 2, or you still cannot read properly, then what?
It adds up to a tragedy someday in the making.
It's the police fault.
well,
always the police fault.
But I do want to ask you about that, because this one instance, many people started questioning whether police in schools were actually working. How would you respond to them?
Well, what happened, we have experienced a decrease in the incidents in school. But what we see happening now is almost as if we have to follow the children to their homes. Because once they leave the school, the patrol go left, them go right. The patrol go right, they go left. So you have a mobile patrol circle in the school. If you perform a static, then they go around the corner. So we are in this constant cat and mouse to ensure that the children reach home safely and that they behave themselves. But I hear your conversation, but I want to, before we leave, share some safety tips, because we have seen some incidents with TT rideshare drivers as well.
Right. I'm going to get to that in literally 1 minute, because I know that's what you came here for. I do want to ask you, the Commissioner of Police said over the weekend that he was going to meet with the investigators of the Anushka Eversley case in San Fernando earlier this week. I'm not sure if he would have imparted any knowledge on how that meeting would have gone with the investigators. It's one of the most high-profile cases we have in the country right now.
And I like that. It's high profile and it's indeed sensitive. So I would not want to speak on behalf of the Commissioner. I will allow the Commissioner the space and the opportunity to answer the questions and update the media when he sees fit.
There's a really interesting article today in the Business Guardian, and I'm not selling it because it's the Guardian, but I think it's really interesting, ASP Russell. It said that PTSD accounts for 5% of the traveling public, and more so, it is the private maxi taxis, it is the private vehicles, and now ride shares as well, most convenient for passengers. But it's also a real challenge, because I can have a ride share and I'm not really sure who's coming to my workplace to take me home or to take me to my destination. Ride share offers a sense of comfort, but can it also be a sense of threat?
Well, I would want to say no. Thus far, we haven't had any incident where the ride-share driver is the perpetrator. What we would have seen is that
they've been the victims.
100% of the time, they have been the victims of crimes. And we want to tell you, ride-share drivers, first and foremost, trust your instinct. Once you have a bad vibe, a bad feeling, do not go. Keep your house light on, so that you can recognize who you're transporting. If you're supposed to pick up one person, then you go to an area and you see 3 and 4 persons, that should raise a red flag. Utilize dash cam to the front of the vehicle and to take a continuous video of the inside of the vehicle. So should something happen, you are aware, the police can help you. We know who you pick up. Let your family know your live location, where you're going. Keep your doors locked until you meet the actual person you're about to pick up. Be mindful of persons attempting to disguise themselves. In addition to which, if you are supposed to take a person from point A to point C, and they keep changing their routes or adding, that and all is a red flag. Be mindful of that. And no dollar is more important than your life. So if you think that your vibe, your gut instinct tells you something is wrong, please do the needful. If you're free to drive into a station, because it's better you do that, than
I wanted to ask you that, ASP Russell. If a rideshare driver has found himself or herself in a situation, let's just take one of your examples. I want to go to, let's just say San Fernando, and I changed my mind. I said, you know what, let's go to Chaguanas instead. And then I changed my mind, let's go Cuba instead. They're already in the situation. What is your suggestion for how they deal with it?
Well, I would ask the rideshare drivers to respectfully and politely decline. Don't engage in any arguments. Don't add any fuel to ignite any fires. But sir, I respectfully decline. If you want, I could drop you back to your location. We could cancel the trip, and you could call another driver or find another means to go to where you're going. You must put your safety and priority first. We want to have them avoid to get into more cashless transaction. And looking at the TV last night, you would have seen the government thrust to encourage more cashless transactions as well.
Right. Would you dissuade rideshare drivers from going into certain communities?
I would want to tell them take some areas will require more caution than some. Why I would not want to dissuade them is because I am a product of Laventille. I don't want to be stereotyped because of where I came from. And there are indeed many law-abiding citizens in Laventille, in Beetham, in Mover, in Dugamartin, in all the areas that they are quote-unquote labeled as hotspot. There are a lot of law-abiding citizens, so why should we deny them? Or what we would ask is if the person feels that something is about to happen or they feel uncomfortable, they must prioritize their safety as a TT rideshare driver. So I'm not going to sit here and say, don't go here, don't go there. I'm asking that you be more careful.
ASP Russell, Laventille will be very proud of the man that you've become, and we appreciate you coming onto the program every Thursday. Thanks very much.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day. Trinidad and Tobago have a wonderful day and a safe weekend.
ASP Awi Russell talking to us on the Morning Brew about several matters of importance when it comes to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Stay with us. When we come back, we have the second hour of the Morning Brew, which incorporates the Morning Shot.
You're still alive.
Mr. Alejandro! Mrs. Lucia! Mrs. Lucia, come quick, Mr.
Alejandro! My goodness! You're so... Sophia!
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Time check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Akash Samaru with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. There's been another brutal home invasion. This time, two sisters, ages 40 and 57, and their 14-year-old nephew were beaten with cutlasses and broomsticks as four masked men terrorized them for almost 2 hours at their penal home. The bandits also poisoned their pet dog along with a neighbor's dog. The younger sister said she was awakened around 11:30 p.m. by her sister's terrifying screams. She said the masked intruders tied them up and demanded money, claiming they knew her sister got $450,000 from work. However, she insisted that claim was false. The victims were beaten mercilessly. The attackers smashed photo frames over them, while the teenage boy was also kicked on his head. She says during the ordeal, the intruders ransacked the house and threatened to kill them.
During this time, we were threatened. They put a gun to my sister's head and told her that, we have 5 seconds to tell us where the money was. They continued to beat us. They brought my nephew into the room together where they beat him really bad. It was really, really traumatizing. I honestly thought that I was going to die because I am seeing a gun, and he's saying that, tonight you all will die.
Meanwhile, two siblings were among 4 people to appear in court yesterday, charged with murdering 2 men whose burnt bodies were found in a car last month. Kevon and Melissa Jupiter, along with Wayne Prime and Samantha Toppin, are charged with murdering Kenneth Gill and Bernard Mahabir. The 4 appeared in court as Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander told Parliament that 11 people have been charged for the year for the 133 recorded murders to date. The siblings and their co-accused are expected to return to court on October 30th. Gill and Mahabir were last seen alive on April 26th and reported missing the day after. Gill's bank card was subsequently used to make cash withdrawals from ATMs in the Arima and Sangre Grande districts. On April 28th, police found a burnt car in Valencia with the men inside. An opposition leader, Penelope Beckles, is seeking to assure that she will be addressing the Janelle John Bates matter soon. All eyes are on the PNM leader, who almost 2 weeks later has yet to say if she has accepted the embattled senator's resignation. Beckles told CNC3 News yesterday that she is currently out of the country, but did not specify exactly where. The PNM has announced a media briefing today, but CNC3 News understands a decision on John Bates is not on today's agenda. We'll stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscasts at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Morning Brew, which will incorporate the morning shot at the bottom of the hour with Ian Wason. He has Ephraim Surratt as well as Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, David Nackett. You won't want to miss those two interviews a little bit later on the program. For now, we're going to be focusing on mental health with Yohansi Ayodike, who's a behavioral change consultant. And I have just one question to start with this morning, Yohansi. What's the point?
Well, morning, Ryan. Morning to everybody viewing. Now, what's the point? Now, why I wanted to discuss what's the point, because maybe over the last month, I've had so many people who thinking about suicide, who even ask you that. So I've had teachers who said, what's the point of teaching anymore because the students are certain way? Then I have the students saying, what's the point in me trying because people look at me a certain way? I have everybody asking, well, what's the point of doing things because the country, I look and say how the country going, what's the point
of life?
Exactly. So now, I wouldn't say there's one solid answer for it, but the answer should, and this is for everybody in terms of even their mental health, the answer to this question should come from you, not someone else. Now, why I put it in that way? Because many times we define who we are through the eyes of others. So I'm not good enough if my parents not proud. I'm not good enough if teachers or my wife, my husband, my whoever not proud, or they don't look at us a certain way, or society. But the thing is that we cannot control how people think. So therefore, trying to impress others or find the purpose of life through other people's eyes is a zero-sum game. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, how do we begin, and when I mean this in the most genuine way, how do we begin reversing that thought? And I only ask it in the context of how do we reversing it because we've been versed in it.
Yes, and I like that. How you say we've been versed in it, because this is how we've been socialized. This is how we've been bred. Our parents even is that we always trying to please somebody. So to reverse it takes a lot of effort. And one good way is to ask yourself this question. If you were told you had one more year to live,
I'm going to live that
what would
how
you
I
do
want
differently
it.
now?
Yep.
And the amount of things you do differently, that's how you start to reverse it. Now, there's a hypothetical situation. Reality now. When are we going to die?
We don't know.
Correct. So that means we're in the same boat as if we were told we had 1 year to live, because we don't know. Now, again, what I'm saying is easier said than done, because the structure of the world and society you live in is still based on other people. But I've seen so many people live in regret and resentment, and of course, degrading your mental health. The older you get, the worse your mental health get, because you continue doing something you know you don't want to do. You continue trying to achieve a goal, which is to, well, I want everybody to look at me a certain way. I want this person, but you're trying to do something that is literally impossible.
Right. How much are you seeing in our own society that which you speak of? A lot of people are unhappy with the lives they've led, are unhappy with where they've at, are unhappy with what they've achieved in life, and really it's affecting their mental health. It's affecting the way that they work in jobs that they really don't want to get up to every day.
Too much. From, you won't believe, and that's why I even wanted to talk about it. In this last few weeks, from ages 5 to 76. This is the ages I've had. Well, the 5-year-old, well, nobody, my parents always tell them I'm doing something wrong. I'm never doing anything right. Now, they didn't say they want to kill themselves or they want to hurt themselves, but you could see the distress in it, right? I've had 20-year-olds, teenagers, all the way up to 76-year-old. He tell me, young man, he say, at my age, I'm not supposed to be still trying to please people, and people are not supposed to be still trying to make me into something, you know. And realizing that this is the society we live in. Now, again, change like this has to come incrementally. So asking yourself, what do you want to do? Sometimes even, and I'm sure you'd notice, there's a lot of private schools now emerging in the country because they're approaching education differently. Because I sit down in the class and this is what I have to do, and I can't deviate from it. it clearly, by the numbers, not working for a lot of children. So people now coming up with a more eclectic method. You're still ending up with good results, you know, but allowing. Because anytime you try to force somebody to do something, even if it's for their own good, they will reject it, you know, because once you put in force, now force on this, you have to be physical force all the time. It could be mental, psychological, and this world we live in now, especially with social media, everybody bombarded. So you have family doing it, you have social media doing it, and then we train Begonians, we are very judgmental, right? So as you step outside, no matter what capacity, sometimes you judging yourself before other people
It'd be something that you're just wearing.
Simple. So I'm saying that because now that we be putting it into perspective for people, you can't find your purpose in life through other people.
I just wonder, though, I'm listening to you speak, and I just wonder if some of those things that you speak of, especially the element of education and how we've been edifying our students, if that's affecting our young people's critical thinking in their lives.
I'm laughing because many of our young people don't have the ability to critically think anymore, right? They could only do what they see on a screen. Now, the rate of suicide and even the thought of suicide is linked directly to how much you could critically think to how little you can. Because a lot of time when people think about harming themselves is because when they look at their current life situation, they can't come up with a solution, right? So therefore you feel like I just want to disappear. Now, the more you could critically think is the more you could come up with a solution to it, so you're less inclined to feel that way. So if you notice the correlation I'm placing there, less critical thinking, more feeling to hurt yourself, more incidents of cutting. That is prevalent in the country right now. Children, I think the youngest I've had recently is 8 years old, cutting themselves, to all the way to 18, 19, teenage years. But when you can't critically think, because I see myself through the eyes of others, all I'm doing is what mommy and daddy had to tell me. I'm only following these instructions, not teaching the child how to think.
I want to leave our viewing audience, those who will be sort of nodding along with you and thinking to themselves, yeah, I'm unhappy in my job. Yes, I'm unhappy with my family. I hope to be further on in wherever I am right now. What would be one or two of the first incremental steps that they can start to better their mental health, which will in turn affect their physical well-being and perhaps even the environment in which they exist? What one or two incremental steps you would advise them today to start taking from today?
Okay, firstly, now this whole process I'm adding again is easier said than done. Right? But
so stick with it. Yes. Don't just do it today, tomorrow, and then you give up because you're not seeing results.
Perfect, because it's not a today for tomorrow. But if you want a small incremental thing, let's start with something simple as what you're eating. Do your best to eat what you want to eat, not just whatever is available. Now, of course, I mean, situations different. Something simple like that. Wear what you want to wear, not what you think other people think you should wear. Now, I'll go in low-lying fruit. Your hairstyle, the watch you wear, something for you, right? As small and trivial as sometimes it could even be something somebody not seeing, right? This might sound weird, but wear the underwear you want to wear, because what you're doing now is you putting things in place for me, and then as you start with the small things, you'll build the confidence to the bigger things, because the truth is everybody know exactly what they want to know. But sometimes you don't have the courage, or sometimes we do not have the method. You know you want a different job, but you need to do a course. And the course taking 2 years. It's better you start the course today, you know. Yeah. Because if you keep thinking about it, 6 months will pass.
You'll kick the can down the road and, yeah.
Right, so starting with those small incremental things that you do for yourself. Have your shoes the way you want, the socks the way you want. And then those small things afterwards, you'll build the confidence to start seeing life through you, and you'll understand again what's the point for you.
Yeah, Johansi Ayadike, it's one of the segments that I truly appreciate, not only watching, but then I have the opportunity ever so often incrementally to also interview you. Appreciate you coming on the Morning Brew and giving such amazing advice. Johansi Ayadike, the behavioral change consultant who talks to us about mental health matters. Take those small, very small steps, and don't underestimate those small steps as well, because eventually they will lead to such big changes that you yourself will look back and say, that's pretty unbelievable. Stay with us here in the Morning Brew. We'll be right back.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Couva, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny. Just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house needs painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny, fix it.
There has never been a better time for a TBLA home improvement loan. Call us today at 623-1501 or visit us at tblamortgages.com.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. A safer nation begins with you standing up, speaking out, and doing your part. As your Commissioner of Police, I am prepared to do my part. Are you prepared to do your part? Get on board. Are you on board?
I am Bishop Ezekiel Clark, President of the Couva Police Station Community Council, and I am proud to say that I am on board with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in their fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
I am Panis Dean Gulston. And I am Panis Johan Chakri. And crime prevention is everybody's business.
Hi, I am Sajina Kadir, attorney at law and team lead for the attorneys for the TTPS Community Justice Clinic. We support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the fight against crime.
Crime prevention is everybody's business. I am Shiraz Khan. I am a farmer. I support the TTPS in the fight against crime.
My name is Baldev Maraj, President of the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Crime fighting is everybody's business.
We are all on board.
CU's Home and Vehicle Mortgage Expo takes place at C3 Center this weekend, and it's going to be a huge expo. It takes place on Saturday, I believe it is, and Shanice Dixon, who's a business development officer, as well as the acting branch supervisor, Danae Fortune Griffith, both join me now on the Morning Brew. Ladies, welcome to the program. It's going to be a very interesting weekend, particularly Saturday at C3 Center. What exactly is, Shanice, PSCU's Vehicle and Home Mortgage Expo?
Good morning, Ryan, and good morning to all your viewers. So PSU's 60th Anniversary Vehicle and Home Mortgage Expo is an interactive and dynamic financial event. It was designed to connect our members and the wider public with accessible financial solutions. So what it is, we're offering a one-stop shop for persons who are interested in purchasing vehicles and homes in a single space. So attendees, when they visit the expo, they can meet directly with our credit officers, get consultations, top vehicle dealerships, real estate agents, insurers, attorneys, all the industry professionals in one single space, making it easier and more accessible for everyone.
It's going to be held, Daniil, in a really, it's going to be held in an open area. It's going to be held in an area where a lot of people are. It's going to be held in South Trinidad.
Yes, so it's going to be held right in the C3 Center courtyard, and that's right in San Fernando. So it's happening from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we're encouraging everyone to come down, because this is not for only members. It's open to the wider public because we are an open bonded credit union. So we're calling everyone, if you're interested in purchasing a vehicle, knowing how to qualify or own your own home, come down to this expo.
Yeah, Shanice, I was about to ask that. Who should attend this expo? Is it only for PSCU members or is it open to the public?
So as Daniil would have mentioned, it is open to both our members and the wider public. We are just trying to bring accessible, affordable financial solutions to everyone. Not many persons may know of PSCU and the wide suite of products that we offer. So this expo not only provides an opportunity for vehicle and home ownership, but we are also offering same-day membership sign-up. Persons can also come and do general consultations for whatever financial goals they may have, be it, I know back to school is coming up, we have vacation period going to come up shortly, and then as soon as you blink, it's Christmas. So we will have our Christmas campaigns. So when persons come, they not only get to see vehicles, speak about home ownerships, but it's dynamic, again, interactive. You get the whole rundown of PSU Credit Union, who we are, what we do, products and services that we offer.
A lot of people, Daniil, are interested now in getting a vehicle for multiple reasons, convenience, etc. What can they expect when they come to C3 Center on Saturday on the vehicle side of the Mortgage Expo?
All right, so when they come on Saturday, this is their opportunity to view the various brands that they're going to have. Dealerships, we're going to have, Shanice can help me in terms of, we're going to have Toyota there, we're going to have Lifestyle Motors there.
So we'll have Toyota, Lifestyle Motors, Massey Motors, Answer Motors, Southern Sales, and D&D Auto, who will be there.
Excellent.
So they're going to come and chat with the dealers. So get to see the vehicles, get to see the different models and compare different models, know exactly what they can afford and a good price for them.
Interestingly, I say that there's a lot of interest in vehicles these days. There's always an interest in home ownership.
Of course.
That's the big one. Everybody wants to own a home. It's not only the American dream, it's a dream
Yes.
for everyone.
Yes.
This is a really important aspect of PSCU. What can people who come down with the hope of at least getting some type of information on how they can move from being a tenant to an owner of a home, what can they expect?
So we will have real estate agents on site, so they can browse the various listings that they would have. But I think what is something even valuable out of this entire process is that they can speak directly with our credit officers and understand the whole mortgage process, what it entails, what is required. Because a lot of people may not know, what documents they may need or what is the entire process from start to finish. And the expo will provide all that information. So you're not only going to get the listings of properties or different things like that, but you will also get the advice on how to go about the entire mortgage process with us.
Will, Daniil, visitors maybe have the opportunity of speaking one-on-one, getting one-on-one advice with these many experts that you guys will have there?
Of course, well, actually, that's one of the most valuable parts of the expo, is that everyone will get that one-on-one interaction. So we meet everyone at their needs. So everyone has different financial not even challenges, but we try to meet
circumstances.
Yes.
You're right.
So we try to meet them at their needs. So you come, you speak to our mortgage specialists, loan specialists, so they can now guide you in terms of the way forward. How can I go about? How can I qualify? How can I improve my qualification amount? So it's about giving you that personalized touch, which is the PSU way.
Shanice, will there be any special financial rates specifically for this expo?
Yes. Now, as part of our 60th anniversary, we Well, we do have special rates. Our mortgage rates, it's 5% and it is fixed for the lifetime of your mortgage.
Yes.
So it does not fluctuate, it does not increase. When you lock it in, you lock it in. And for our vehicles, it's as low as 4%.
Interestingly enough, an opportunity like this, Daniil, will see a lot of non-members show up to C3 Centre's courtyard. And if they're interested in becoming PSCU members, is that possible on Saturday?
Of course, everyone is welcome. And yes, we encourage them to come with their documents. So if you're a non-member, you can visit C3 with your letter, payslip, 2 forms of ID, and a utility bill. And we can take you from there.
Some people may ask, how long are these loans going to be, these vehicle loans?
So we have it right through. However, we just decided to do this Vehicle and Home Mortgage Expo as part of our 6th anniversary celebrations, right? So this year PSU turns 60. And we do have special rates throughout the year, special promotions at various times. Like I would have mentioned, we have back to school, vacation, Christmas. So we do have special rates throughout the year. So once you are a PSU member, you have access to all of our exclusive products, promotions, everything that we have. It's afforded to our members.
Some people would be watching us speak this morning and they'll be saying, I'd like to attend, but I don't think that I'm there where I need to be financially. There might be what you might call on the fence line. I might show up, but then I don't think I have everything that I need really financially. What would you say to them?
Well, first, we encourage them to come. It's open to the public, open to everyone. So the only way for you to know if you qualify is to visit the expo. And we live in a digitized world where sometimes you do everything online, but we are coming to you at C3 Center. So you come, visit us, you're going to see different specialists, so we'll be able to meet you at your need.
Yeah. If there are those who are willing to now go through with the process, who are really serious about getting a home or a vehicle and want to take that next step, what documents should they be walking with on Saturday to push that process along?
So most importantly, they should come with a job letter and a payslip, for sure, because that will help us assess their financial situation. 2 valid forms of photo identification and a proof of address. So a utility bill or a bank statement can also work. On the day, we have all the vehicle dealerships, insurers, so we have on-the-spot quotations that we will be able to provide to them, so they don't need to get those things. However, if they do have or they want financing for other things and they do have quotations, we encourage them, walk with it, come have a chat with us, because apart from the vehicles and the homes, you never know what you can qualify for. Yeah.
I want to end it by talking a little bit about 60 years of PSC. That's a big achievement.
Yes.
That's going through several financial crises and also downturns in the economy. It's a huge achievement.
It is. So we are 60 years strong and still growing.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being on the program. Shanice Dixon, as well as Daniil Fortune Griffith, we appreciate you and look forward to seeing you on Saturday at C3 Center from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. PSCUs, they're going to be celebrating their 60th anniversary with their Vehicle and Home Mortgage Expo. It promises to be a really great opportunity, even if you're interested but not quite there as yet. All of the experts will be there to guide you on your way. It may not happen on Saturday, but it will happen at some point in time. Stay with us here on The Morning Brew. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Ian Wason is going to be in this chair discussing all the related sporting matters of the past week. He has Mr. Ephraim Surratt as well as David Naked. Stay with us here on The Morning Brew. The Morning Shot is next.